I'm Brenda Duncan Davis. I'm the Director of Industry Outreach for Hoosier Health's Career Center and the E3 Innovation Network. The Dementia Friendly Caregiver Program was created by IU Health, Bloomington, Alzheimer's Research Services, and they put together a curriculum that could be used in a classroom.
So about 2 years ago, Amanda Mosier and Dana Thompson with the Alzheimer's Resource Services joined us in trying to see what we could do to make sure that we skilled up the healthcare service in this area. One of the ways to do that was a dementia-friendly caregiver partnership. So a couple of years ago, like I said, we started that. We piloted it with our students here in Hoosier Hills. Our outreach here is actually to 9 different high schools across multiple counties. So we thought that'd be a great way to get it back into other areas as well. And we just had an incredible growth from our students. So we could see that that was really ramping up the type of healthcare that they would provide.
And once we discovered the curriculum, we realized that we needed to share this information with other health science teachers in the region. So we pulled together the team of teachers in the summer of 2018 and actually worked through the curriculum. They were taught just like a student was taught in the classroom. And those teachers received the curriculum that they could take back to their classroom and use, and they also got a kit where they could run a virtual tour. During the training, students get a hands-on approach. Each student visits an assisted living site or a long-term healthcare facilities and actually gets to work with a patient living with dementia. During their initial visit, they find out about the person, they talk to them about their family, they find out their interests and things that maybe they did in their past, and then that student leaves, goes back to school, and they develop a plan, a care plan, or an activity that they can implement on their next visit. Then, when the students return to visit their resident, and we call them their buddies, they implement that activity and that care plan. And those could include something like cooking, it might be playing music, it might be building a Lego car, just anything that the person has expressed an interest in. The main thing that we want the resident and the student to do is develop a relationship. We want them to have a connection. We want that connection to be meaningful to both parties that are involved.
Well, first we learned everything about dementia, and then we got to do a tour, like what was it called?
A virtual tour.
A virtual tour, where we had to put on gloves, put on headphones, these glasses where we only could see a little bit, and they gave us tasks to do, and it made it very difficult to do the tasks. And then, yeah, it just showed us kind of what they have to go through and how hard things really are for them, because a lot of people don't understand. What I learned from it is how to interact with them, and it just gives you a better understanding of the things they have to go through every single day.
I liked my experience with dementia, with working with someone with dementia, because it helped me see what she saw and what she was thinking at that time. I really had a lot of fun with her because she showed us things that we talked about things that were really interesting to her, and I liked gaining knowledge about her life and what she goes through during her days, and I really liked spending time with her.
I didn't really understand the whole dementia process and how people actually felt with family that had dementia. But then after I got to experience someone with it and got to help them and be there with them, for someone to just be there and talk to them, it really made me feel like this is something that more people should try to do, just because they don't have a lot of people there and they forget most things, to where they just need someone there to help them connect other things together.
I don't know, because my grandma and grandpa had dementia, so at an early age from me, so it didn't really affect anything because I already knew how they acted, or maybe they wouldn't like you. So I knew when going in that my buddy may not like me. Going through the program, I wish I would have known before, when my grandma and grandpa had it, that at the end of the day, they just want human contact. It's not always about doing something with them. It's just spending time and talking about what they're feeling, what they like to do. So I wish I would have done that more when I was younger.
One of the greatest impacts that we hoped to see from the dementia-friendly caregiver training for our students was an increase in the healthcare provider opportunities. So our skilled nursing facilities, our home health groups, being able to hire our students right out of high school to work part-time, or in the summers to do internships or training, or just to work full-time and go on and pursue higher degrees. That was one of the major impacts that we had. The other thing is just to make sure that it's personal. It was really important for us to think about how we were going to impact each one of our students, and if they were going to be able to carry that forward. So the residents at Jill's house and this year at Legacy Lane have been connected with our students. Those students have done care plans to provide for those residents. And I will just say that when you go back and you see our students working with those residents, then you understand the internal as well as external impact that the Dementia-Friendly Caregiver Program and all of the work that the Alzheimer's Resource Service is doing in this community. So kind of a secondary impact that we were able to have in this community is actually that we were able to take a regional effort. So last year we were awarded quite a substantial grant, $1.2 million Skill Up grant from the Department of Workforce Development. In that, we partnered with all 4 of the career centers across the region that actually have contact with 27 high schools. So our projections for the next 2 years is to have over 600 students impacted by the Dementia-Friendly Caregiver 20-hour certification.
Locally and regionally, it has been so well received. We are hearing from the other teachers in the region of the positive comments that the students are making. Some of them are mentioning it was their favorite component of the health science program, and many lives are being touched. So from the people, from the residents or the individuals they're working with, to the students themselves.
So I guess I would just have to say that the dementia-friendly effort means so many things to me. First and foremost is that upskill of the healthcare that we're giving to our gerontological population. I know that dementia does not just impact that older population, but a very dear friend of mine who I think of as a mother lost her mom and was able, as one of the adults in the community, to come in and sit with our teachers instructing and with Dana and Amanda instructing for the first time on this dementia-friendly caregiver program. She had her eyes opened, and the things that she shared with me about, oh, this is what impacted mom, this is what made the difference. It really rang true to me in a way that I didn't expect. So I think that when you have a personal situation, obviously, if it were my parent, it would be different. But I'm one of those people who kind of wears my heart on my sleeve, and having someone who has been such a supporter of me understand how they could support their parent and give themselves the availability to treat with a difference in respect and a difference in understanding of what that experience of dementia is like. That just rang true in a way that I knew we couldn't let this just sit here at Hoosier Hills. I'm super excited to bring things here to the Career Center students, but it can't just be that. It has to be something that we get across the state and that we get across the nation, because there is no community that is not touched by dementia.